everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with Coach Carnes. It is no surprise that I have struggled mentally on the golf course. So earlier this year, I hired a mental coach to help me. So to explain what we're doing here today.
Sure, so today just going out, just playing a few holes and kind of talking through some of the things that we've been going through together in the classroom. Really just, you know, get eyes on how things are going out here on the course, talk through some different scenarios, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'll be honest, I've never made a YouTube video on a golf course before.
Well, this is going to be fun, right?
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Okay. Well, because the thing is, golf, yes, it's so physical, but we want to talk about all of the mental stuff that goes behind every single shot. So let's do this.
I'm
Ready?
pumped.
Okay, nice. Alrighty. Yeah.
So, I mean, here we go. First hole, first tee box. This is potentially one of those areas where we've got some nerves, we've got some jitters, big tournament, we've got a big crowd kind of watching us.
Yep.
At some point, we're flipping that switch. We're done paying attention to YouTube cameras. We're done paying attention to everything else that's going on. It's just you and that ball, no different than on the driving range.
Yep. So like right now, I just took my practice swing as part of my pre-shot routine. So now I'm going to try and like focus on where I want the ball to go and visualize it. And that's why I'm doing like my breathing exercise and then my go-to statement. That's when I do all of those things.
Love it.
Okay, so just getting my spot, visualizing it.
So right now, without even looking at where this drive goes, my question to you is, were you prepared when you hit that ball? Do you feel like your mind was clear?
I will say I actually felt nerves, and I don't know why, because there's nobody around, but I actually felt nervous over the ball. But like I went through my thing, but I still felt like just a little bit nervy on it. I don't know why.
It's fair. We're going to get you, what was the dance you did?
I could just loosey-goosey. Okay, so look at this. I have it written out.
I love it.
So like this is my pre-shot routine that I always have.
Yep.
And then I want to show my go-to statement.
That's right.
But the thing
nobody's
is,
business.
Like, but for me, I just feel like I know my routine, but it's nice in tournaments to have like, this is like my blankie almost.
Absolutely.
Like I just feel comfortable with it. So I like to have that out.
And so, I feel like that's the answer to the question you asked me in the cart too.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with the pre-shot nerves on that first tee? You go to that.
Yeah.
You get comfort in knowing that those are the steps that are going to prepare your mind and body to be in the best position to make good contact with the ball. And that's all we're after.
No, I agree. Okay, so I'm behind the ball. I'm doing a 7-iron from 171, just trying to grip down on it a little bit. I'm going to go through my little routine. One practice swing, get behind, visualize, breathe, go-to statement.
What do you think before you see it land? What do you think?
Everything, I committed to everything there.
Good.
So like, oh, went a little bit long actually, but I'm actually happy with it.
Good.
I committed to everything. I didn't feel nervous. It was just good, like a good shot. Just drifted off right a little bit. So like for me though, I saw where I just went and automatically I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
Right.
Is that bad to think?
I mean, it's not doing you any good.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Once that ball leaves the club face, you can't control what's happening.
Yeah. Yes, now I just have to like on my thing, I on my little statement card, on to the next.
Yeah.
Like that's all I have to think.
Absolutely. So I mean, at this point, you could overanalyze that shot. You could try and self-diagnose and pretend to be your swing coach. Like, well, why did that drift a little bit to the right?
Yeah.
What should I have done differently? Like, is that really going to help prepare you for this chip shot, though?
No, it's going to destroy my confidence, really. Okay, so like right here, I do have negative thoughts going through my head right now, just because it is a tricky shot. But it's like I can't control that it's a tricky shot. So I feel like I just have to commit to what I've always done. And I think I have to pick out like a point where I want to land it.
That's exactly
and then just
right.
commit to that point, right?
100%.
Okay. Okay, so all I'm gonna think of right now is where I want the ball to land, and then just do a confident stroke, because I feel like if it's a weak stroke, it's not gonna do me any good. All right, visualize where I want the ball to land, and then just let it roll out. That was actually so good. I'm so happy with that shot. Sit down.
Now, are you so happy with that shot, or are you so happy with how you prepared your mind and body before you made that shot?
Both, actually.
Love it.
I'm like real happy with the result though. Because that was a tricky shot.
If there are any mental performance coaches out there with tips on how to get golfers to quit paying attention to results in any way, hit us up in the comments.
But like, I know, the results just, I have a hard time not focusing on that sometimes.
That's what everybody focuses on. That's what everyone has focused on your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You finish a round of golf, and what does somebody say? What'd you shoot?
Every time.
That's all they ask you about.
Yeah.
It's not what I ask you about, but it's what everyone, your entire life, it's the only thing they've asked you about after every golf tournament.
And I think that's why too, like I started placing my identity in my scores, because that's, you're right, everybody asks you solely about that. Okay, so I've got like a 2-foot putt here uphill. I'm just gonna go through, I really have the same routine, I feel like, on my putter as I do irons and stuff, but you'll notice when I go up to the ball, I always wipe off my face. Like, and I think I've actually done that for like 3 years now. So that's like already ingrained. Nice. I'm happy with the whole entire hole. I got a par from there, and I'm actually pretty ecstatic about it. Okay. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
How was my mental game on that hole?
I don't know. That's what's so weird about this is like, you know, kind of like what we talked about beforehand. Usually, coaching someone in golf is, after the round, let's go back and reflect on how things went, versus like right now, you're just trying to vocalize to me the things that are rolling around in your mind so that we can kind of have that conversation as we're going. So if you would give yourself a check before each one of those shots, like, yes, my mind was clear, I was committed, I was focused, then I think things are going great.
Yeah, I would have given myself 3 checks on that hole. The drive was an X for sure. I felt I didn't like that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Warmed up for it.
Go through your stuff.
Okay, I'll go through my stuff. So I have 143 yards, and I'm just gonna hit a 9-iron. There's not much to this hole. I feel like you want to hit maybe a little bit behind.
Yeah, so I feel like her breathing before each shot has been completely different every single time. So I'm just gonna take out a stopwatch and just time her a couple times, because I feel like there's been a very large difference. So I don't know, we'll see. But it's been something that she's talked about in the past, like she has a tendency to rush through things, so we just want to make sure that she's committing to that fully.
I feel like you're talking about what you're gonna do.
100% I am. That's my job. You literally hired me to be your coach. I'm coaching you.
Okay, this is good. Okay, I gotta reset. Okay, so I've already picked out my club. I've got that. Do my practice swing. All right, visualize what I want my ball to do. Go-to statement. Oh, it was so perfect. It was so perfect.
Your preparation or the shot?
Both. I'm telling you, I feel like my preparation right now is actually really good.
I love it. So I will say, just from, I pulled this out just to time you. I was just curious, because I know what you wrote down for your optimal breathing pattern. I know what that was. And I'm saying there's no way that you just went through that in this pre-shot moment right here.
Like the whole breathing thing?
Correct. So that's one of those things, like if you feel like taking that big deep breath needs to be a part of your routine every time, then let's make sure we're not rushing through it.
I do rush the breath.
If you're feeling right now like I don't need that, that's fine. Like I'm not telling you how to do your pre-shot routine. I'm just saying what you told me you were going to do in your pre-shot routine did not match what you just did in your pre-shot routine is all.
Okay, well the thing is I feel like even if I'm not feeling nervous, I feel like I should still do the correct breathing. Just so it's a pattern and a habit.
I agree.
Because I told you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release 4. Yeah, I wasn't close to that.
You were under 3 seconds.
Okay, you're like calling me out.
I mean, you got a nice little downhill putt.
Yeah.
Like that, you would think that was incredibly successful versus if we're evaluating what you said you were going to do compared to what you actually did, I would say that shot's a failure.
A fail. I failed. Okay.
Not in, now let's.
No, but it's true. But I guess the pre-shot it failed.
If we're evaluating strictly on the pre-shot routine, it's just like if the quarterback makes the wrong read, but he throws a beautiful pass and we score a touchdown. Do you tell him great play, or do you tell him that's not what we were trying to do? In the short term, like if you need to celebrate that kid, like if you were struggling right now, I would tell you awesome job, Caleb.
Yeah.
But like right now, you're trying to fine tune. Right now, you're trying to get just 1% better everywhere you can. So I'm saying, well, then you didn't optimize that right there on that tee box.
It's so true. Okay, this is good.
If I time you every time, then you're going to start thinking about that, and then that's going to become a distraction, and then that's going to do more harm than good.
Okay.
So all I want you to do is just commit to I'm not going to rush things.
Okay.
And then as long as you don't rush things, then you're doing it correctly. Like, I'm not trying to put more junk in your head. I'm just trying to hold you accountable on what you said you were going to do.
Okay.
And I think one of the things we got to be careful of is like, I don't want to say that was a failure because we're trying to completely get rid of success or failure. Like that's not even part of the possibility while evaluating your game. We're just saying on this journey toward trying to reach your full potential, the next step needs to be commit to your breath.
Because I will, during tournaments and stuff, like, oh, actually this is interesting. So my Garmin watch, I was looking at my heart rate, and I mean, it was consistently above like 120 the whole entire tournament run. That's probably an issue, right?
No.
Really?
I would say not. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but I want to say performance decreases don't happen till like I'm not gonna say a number because this is going on YouTube, and
there was also
somebody in the comments will tell me I'm an idiot, but like I want to say it was in the 140 to 160 range because like during a football game, we're not trying to get guys back down to a resting heart rate of like 70 or something like that.
Yeah, no.
We're just trying to get them from I'm way over the top stressed down to I can perform at a normal level. I would say 120 is not concerning.
Okay. I mean, I did have some 145s in there too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be very good about my breathing right here. Because right now, like I really want the birdie bad. And that's not a bad thing to want the birdie, right?
It's just focusing on the end result.
Yeah.
Which we're training your brain not to do because we're not chasing birdies.
Okay, that's
your job here is to prepare your mind and body the best you can to make the best putt that you possibly can.
Okay, confident stroke. Okay, my breathing is going to be very good here. Okay, results was not good, but I did everything well.
Good.
Okay.
That's what we're going for.
All right, I guess that's good. Okay. I definitely am hyper-fixated on results for sure. Okay, same thing.
Most people are.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to be.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you've been trained your entire life to focus on results.
Yeah.
Analyze rounds by results.
Yeah.
Judge your game by results.
Yeah.
make adjustments to your game by results.
Well, because there was one time, and I was playing with this girl, and I had like the same length putt, and she was my partner in it, and she was like, Kaylin, if you don't make it, like, I don't care. Like, who cares? And I'd never thought about it like that, where I didn't put pressure on the putt. I'm like, oh, wait, I guess, yeah, who really cares if I don't make it?
Right.
And I like, took pressure off, and I liked it. Okay, breathing. Okay. Calm.
Calm.
I felt calm.
Calm.
Yeah.
And I want to point out too, like, that we're not saying results don't matter. We're not saying let's just all be cool with mediocrity. Like, that's not it.
No.
What we're saying is hyper focusing in on the results before and after every single shot is going to do more harm than good. So let's not focus on that.
Yeah.
Let's do the things that it takes to achieve those results without just loading them up as extra pressure that we're carrying around all the time.
Yeah. I will say, I know that like no one's around right now, but that was probably the most calm I've felt in a decent long time on like a 3-foot putt. Like there was not 1 ounce of tension there, actually.
Longest breath I've ever seen you take.
Was it? I felt like it was pretty good, long breath.
I know. One of the things that we've talked about in the past was distractions, and I'll let you kind of explain what you were doing. But I know like the original activity that I had you do was there was a grid. It's called a focus grid. Mm-hmm. And you start with 1 and you just circle 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 25 or whatever. And then you add in distractions, and then you add in my phone is sitting here and I'm seeing notifications, or I turn on the TV, or people are talking or whatever. And it's training your mind to focus on the activity that you choose, not to be distracted by other things.
Yeah.
And so we had you.
I think, and I told you this, it was the best exercise anyone's ever had me do. So like when I'm on the golf course, you go through your entire pre-shot routine and post-shot routine, but while listening to like one of your favorite podcasts or something that you really want to listen to, because it's a distraction, but you have to like refocus your mind and be like, okay, no, this is my routine. Even though there's these distractions that I want to listen to, I'm not going to. So it's like a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choosing not to listen to that voice that's in your ear.
Yeah.
So on this hole, what we'll do is I'll kind of simulate that voice in your mind, or I'll simulate that podcast in your ear and just give you some extra practice on, I'm going to choose not to focus on this. I'm going to choose to focus on my pre-shot routine.
Okay.
Maybe saying my go-to statement in my mind, whatever that looks like.
Okay, I like that. Let's do it.
So I'm talking as the voice in your mind.
Yep.
You're talking as if you need to talk over it with your go-to statement, you can do that.
Okay.
If you need to just dial in, take a deep breath, ignore it, like whatever you need to do.
I think I'm just going to try and ignore you.
Sounds good. Well, I don't know if the driver's the right club here, to be honest. If I were hitting on this hole, I would certainly not use a driver. Kaylin, this is not going to work. There's no way this is going to work. We got trees all over the place. We got a creek. I don't know if at least a hybrid.
I hit it very well. It's just a little left.
Okay. Thoughts on my voice?
There were times where I was like, where your voice like popped in, but then I kept saying my go-to statement to like block it out and refocus on that. And so at the very end, I tuned you out completely, like over the ball. Normally I don't do this, but I was just saying my go-to statement.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's, David Goggins talks about like when he did a 100-mile ultra marathon through the desert.
Yeah.
Like he was literally screaming out loud because he said the voice in his mind telling him, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know why I'm doing this, was so loud that the only way to drown it out was to literally yell.
Wow.
And so here he is like running through the desert like a crazy person, screaming to himself. But it's like, if that voice in the back of your mind won't shut up, we're not just going to gently, politely well, I put in the time and I put in the work. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes we need to up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to be a little more forceful with our self-talk.
That makes sense. Okay. Okay, so first, like with my pre-shot routine, I have to go through a couple options. I have 5-iron, 6-iron, and I want to commit to a shot on one of these. It's a little uphill. I think I'm actually just gonna do a 6-iron, put it more back in my stance.
I don't know if that's the right club.
It is the right club.
That doesn't seem like the right club to me. I would flop this over the tree. There's no way you're gonna hear me say I'd hit a flop shot here and not smile. I know you're listening to me.
Okay, I did listen.
So now, we got to dial back in.
I do.
We got to do something.
Exactly.
Get rid of this voice that won't shut up.
Okay, visualize.
Short, quick breath, as fast as you can, just to get through this, because that's what's important. Let's just hit this shot as fast as possible. Ooh, I don't know.
I feel like it's pretty good. Get up a little bit. I can't tell. Maybe just front of the green, it looked like.
What'd you think?
Well, normally...
Did I get in your head?
No, not at all, actually.
Good.
You did not. Normally, I rush those shots to, like, get it over with. Like, normally, I'll go like this and I'll go fast, but I felt calm.
Good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this more than a couple times on the course, because like we talked about in the cart, I'm not trying to put extra stuff in your head.
Yeah.
I just want, let's do it once or twice so that you know you have the confidence to focus on what you choose. We don't need to, we don't need to get overly crazy with this.
Yeah, but I do like this.
Good.
It does help me.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue for the putt? You want me to continue talking?
Oh, yeah.
No?
Like, try and roast me.
Cool, got it. Deal.
All right, all uphill. Lots of green to work with.
Feels like a disaster waiting to happen.
I think it feels like a great opportunity.
I see double bogey in the future. That's what's important, right? The end result. Are you going to putt this?
Yes, I am.
Are you listening to me?
I'm just going to stop speaking.
I don't know if I would putt this, though. I would probably chip this. I would chip this. That's what makes me an elite golfer, though. This is a long putt. Makes me second guess how hard I'm going to hit this ball, too. How hard are you going to hit the ball? How do you even know how hard to hit the ball?
Oh, get up there a little bit.
Thoughts?
Okay, I mean, the result, it's short, but I was very calm over the shot and everything, and I blocked you out.
You said to roast you. I don't. Maybe I'm too old for that. I don't feel like I did that. I gave it my best.
How? I'd be curious to hear your roasts. Okay. Now I definitely have some work left on this one, but I'm just going to commit to my putt. And if I don't make it, I don't make it. I'm going to commit to my line.
You should definitely second guess the line. Now's the time to second guess the line. There's no way that's the line. I would sink this putt in Tiger Woods 2007, no problem. I feel like that got a smile. Unshakable. Unshakable.
That's right. You did get a smile, though. I did hear that part a little bit.
And that's where, so one of the things that I think is important if someone else is actually ever going to do this, is you have to make sure that you have the conversation either ahead of time or afterwards of like, I obviously didn't mean any of that stuff. I'm not just trying to be a jerk. Like, what's the purpose of doing a drill like this or an activity like this? Because otherwise, I think, especially like you just parred this after being behind a tree and then being short. Yeah. So the result was fine, but like, what if you're doing this and you get a double bogey and now like you're starting to feel devastated? Yeah. Like, I think it's important that you don't let this drill go too far,
I agree,
if
but
that makes
it's
sense.
nice though because it simulates like my negative thoughts that I have on the inside. You're just
Yes.
saying them out loud, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, go-to statement, super powerful. I know I've used it in the past. It was why I teach it to every athlete that I work with. We've got the why am I great, the things that I always know are going to be there about my game,
Yep.
and then what am I working towards. Mine was I put in the time, I put in the work. I'm the best coach in the state, heading down to Lucas Oil to play in a game against a team that was way better than us, and it was like I needed to get out of my own mind and just do my job. So you've had a go-to statement in the past. You actually wrote me a letter about your go-to statement.
I remember that, uh-huh.
And it was literally like 7 months later, Coach Carnes, I finally believe my go-to statement.
Yeah.
So you committed to that. We stuck to that for a little while, but now we've tweaked yours. Why?
Because I think I kind of stopped believing in it because, this past year I have been like working more than I've been golfing. And so there was one section of my go-to statement is at the end, I'm the best golfer in the world. I just thoroughly did not believe that anymore. And so I wanted to tweak it to be like, oh, no, I believe this. So I had to retrain my brain. And that took me, that actually didn't take me as long as the first one. That probably took me like 2 months or so to fully believe it.
And this is something that if I'm a coach working with athletes, I don't even necessarily want to know what their go-to statement is, or if I know it, I'm not telling anybody else, because if other people know your go-to statement, then there's kind of this tendency to over-evaluate, to self-evaluate, now are these people watching me? And they're like, well, I don't know. Is it they're thinking that my go-to statement didn't work? You put extra pressure on yourself, stuff like that. So that's, we're not putting hers on film just because it's nobody else's business.
Yeah, it's my business.
We had humility versus confidence versus arrogance was one of the things we talked about in one of our sessions. And from a personal standpoint, especially with your faith playing a role in it, you want to be a humble person. That's the kind of person you are. And off the course, that's who you want to be. But that doesn't always play so well on the course.
No, not at all. And the thing is, I'm still struggling with it because, the Bible always says, be humble. Humility is everything. You have to, be humble. And yes, completely agree. But on the golf course, when I, have that humble aspect, I don't do well.
Yeah.
I have to be cocky and arrogant on the course. And the thing is, I've played with people on the LPGA and the PGA Tour. They are so arrogant on the course, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's oh, I wonder why that's their profession.
Right. Well, and it's, we talked about even from a biblical perspective, when Jesus walked into the temple and started tossing tables, that wasn't humble servant, let me wash your feet. He was pissed and he was there to take care of business.
Yeah.
So if this is one of the talents and skills that God's blessed you with, isn't it kind of your responsibility to do it to the best of your ability while you're out here? And then after you dominate someone, be the kind of person that they go, wow, she's actually a really great person.
Yeah, because that's how I was early high school and middle school. I was very cold on the golf course because I had people always called me Sharky mentality because I just dominated. But then I would get off the golf course and they'd be like, oh, she's super nice. But now I've taken the niceness to the golf course too much, I think. So that sounds so bad though, doesn't it?
No, I mean, we talked all the time about football players that were nice.
Yeah.
You can't be a Mike linebacker and be polite.
You can't.
That just it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the challenge on this hole is, can you convince yourself before you step up to that ball that you're a freaking dog and you're ready to take care of business?
I'm a dog. I like this. That's even something I'm a dog is a good end go-to statement.
There you go.
It sounds silly, but I feel I like that. Okay, now I'm in my routine mode. Practice swing, step behind the shot, visualize where I want to go while I'm breathing.
Did you do it or no?
I did it.
Good.
Just a little right side of fairway. I think it'll be good. Yeah, I like that a lot. I feel very calm over that one.
And that's, you know, there's kind of a balance that you've got to figure out. We talk about like athletes being in the zone. You know, if you're gonna play at your best at like a 10, then you need to get yourself up to a 10. If you're gonna play your best at like an 8 and being too amped up to like a 10 or a 12 is too much, well, then you need to be able to calm back down. But like when it's time for you to freaking go compete, like you need to get yourself to that point and that mentality where you're ready to go and get after it.
Yeah, I told myself on the outside of my go-to statement, I ended with, I'm a dog.
There you go.
Nice. I'm a dog. So, okay. I'm not going to be a dog. I'm going to be a smart dog. And I'm probably going to lay up on this one.
I don't feel like that's not being a dog. Like, I feel like you're just making the right decision to use the correct club.
Yeah.
And so now you need to hit this shot aggressively with the mentality that you're going to set yourself up exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
So you can get that end result that you want. I know that's not what we're chasing. That's not how we're going to evaluate things, but like we do want to set ourselves up to have the most success.
That's true.
I don't see anything wrong with
Yeah,
that.
because like I just don't like 3-wood from this line. I don't even like hybrid much, so I'm just going to take a 5-iron. And there's sometimes, I will say like on par 5s, when I am laying up and there's just a bunch of fairway and grass open, I don't hone in and zone in on the shot. So I just like kind of go whatever, but I feel like I still need to visualize where I want it to land.
And I feel like part of it too, if you're a dog, like right now you're gonna get your mind and body ready to hit this stinking shot.
Yeah.
If you're just out here to be timid, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm in the rough, so now I can't go for the pin.
Yeah.
No, woe is me.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. All right, so I'm gonna find a spot where I want this ball to kind of start at. Kind of definitely more in favor on the right side so I can set myself up for like more green to work with. Okay.
Was that right or wrong?
It was right.
Good.
And I put the ball right where I wanted to. Okay.
Yeah. So like here's where, you know, we've got that dog mentality. Like you didn't feel comfortable going for the pin, so that was good course management, but here we are, so pick out your spot, know where you're going with this shot, and freaking go after it.
Exactly. And so this right here is definitely a shot that I haven't been confident in, but what I realized is it's because I wasn't practicing this shot. So now like I feel like I've put in the practice, so now I feel like more confident with that too.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that's back to your original go-to statement, like you put in the time, you put in the work. You've earned the right to be confident on this shot.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And like I think that's why I had to tweak it, because I wasn't putting in the work, because I physically just couldn't. Okay, so 56 yards, taking a 54 degree. And instead of thinking things that could go wrong, I'm going to stick to my complete routine, pick out a point of where I want to land it at, visualize that, and now I'm breathing, so I can't talk. Oh, get some spin on ya. Sit down. Okay. So, I won't talk about the result.
But see, and here's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to be aggressive, you were trying to go for that pin, you were trying to land it in a certain spot, and you didn't achieve that.
Yeah.
So, was it because you weren't in the right spot mentally ahead of time, or you just had a bad golf shot?
I did my breathing. I said my go-to statement. I think I halfway visualized it. Does that make sense?
So you maybe rushed it a little bit.
I think I rushed the visualization process a little bit, but other than that, it was good.
Okay.
So that's something I did make a mistake on. Yeah.
And this is not how we want to obviously play every single round of golf, where we're being hypercritical of everything that we do.
Yeah.
we're in a phase right now where you've said, here's what I want to do for my routine, so let's commit to it and let's train our mind that this is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
So it starts to become more natural and automatic.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like sometimes if I don't picture, you know, like you've seen shot tracers before.
Yep.
That's what I picture in my mind when I visualize a shot.
Yep.
And I don't think I fully saw the shot tracer land and then roll out. Like I didn't see that. So
Fair.
I rushed it, yeah.
Okay, so in this situation, I feel like every golfer that I've ever worked with now still has the previous shot in their mind where they were going after a birdie, they had a plan for a birdie, they knew how they were going to get that birdie, they were going to be the dog and go after that birdie, and now here we are. It's like, that's done, that's gone. What you need to do now is prepare yourself to make the best putt here, and then whatever happens, happens. But score and result is not what we're after here. Preparing your mind and body and making a good shot is.
Because normally, like after that shot, like I did have expectations of where I wanted to be within 10 feet for sure.
Sure.
And I would come up here and be like mad. I'd be mad about it for sure.
Right.
But you're saying I just have to, this is another opportunity, I just got to focus on this, and like I can still make this. It's just a long putt.
Sorry.
I feel like the greens are actually rolling pretty nicely right now too. Okay, so downhill, right to left bender. Okay, I just want to commit to my line.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it.
But I do feel like a lot of people would think about past shots that they had on the entire hole, or like a past putt that was similar. Blank slate. All right.
And here's where, in my routine, I'm taking an extra big old deep breath.
Really?
Just because I have a tendency to chase shots after I don't meet my expectations.
That's me.
And so then it's like, okay, well, let's be extra intentional about this routine this time.
Okay, so a big old breath.
Happy with it or no?
Yeah, I felt super. I don't even know what the ball's doing, but it felt really good.
How about in?
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
and so here we are, like, you could have put all that pressure on yourself. You could have been chasing shots. You could have been worried about the end result. But instead, you prepare your mind and body, and here, like, I'm confident that even I could make this shot.
I would hope so. But I loved the extra long, deep breath. Like, even after, it wasn't a bad hole by any means, but like, after a shot that I expected to be closer, like chasing something, just reset myself.
There you go.
Par.
That's it. So one of the things that we talked about in our sessions was, what is success?
Yep.
And how do you define success? And we've kind of wrestled with this. We've gone back and forth on it a little bit. Where are you at right now with this?
So in the past, with success has definitely been like a score thing for me. But now I feel like it's more, I guess, how I prepare for each shot. So like if I know that I did everything that I could have done and it's still a bad shot, that still should be a success to me. And I'm still not fully there yet, being honest, but I'm getting a lot closer, which I think is good.
Right, and in the psychology world of cognitive behavioral therapy, like if you're trying to change those reactions that are subconscious, that are from that lower part of the brain, like that's not going to just happen automatically.
No.
And that's why we're having to be intentional about some of these things out here. We're having to talk through some of these things. We're having to focus on some of these things. Some of this stuff, like I say over and over and over and over to you, just like when you're practicing on your swing and you're changing some mechanics, you have to practice that over and over and over and over.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I feel like with the mental side of golf too, it's not something that's like a one and done. Like you have to keep at it or else you just don't stick to it.
Sure.
Okay, par 5, 477 yards, definitely gettable in 2. Not thinking about that though. Focusing on where I want this to go. Okay, now this drive, I did bomb. I hit this pretty hard.
Love it. And so now you've got a chance to go be that dog and go after this thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely gettable in 2, for sure.
Freaking go get it.
But I'm still gonna, I think for me, take that extra breath because I get excited.
Yes.
Like even when I get excited.
Yes.
Because like I'm, going for it in 2, woo, woo, woo. I have 194 yards, and I think I'm gonna take my 5-iron, but it just looks further. So like to me, sometimes I would try and like juice this one up a little bit, but I just commit to just a standard 5-iron shot.
And we talked about in the cart too, when you have an opportunity to realistically put this on the green, and 2, that you have a tendency to rush or push or get a little juiced up or a little amped up. So now's a great time for that extra big deep breath.
Extra breath, okay. One practice swing behind the ball, visualize while I'm breathing.
Did you like it?
I did. I don't like the result very much.
So now you have a chance to get up and down for birdie.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. So if we would have said at the beginning of this hole, hey, you're gonna have a shot for birdie here, would you feel good about that?
Yeah, I would feel pretty good.
Well then, let's go get a birdie.
Okay. So like this is not ideal.
Not ideal
At all.
I would say this shot sucks. Like from an emotional reaction standpoint.
Yeah.
This is terrible. This is not where you want it to be. I don't like this shot. You don't like this shot. Nobody likes this shot. Yeah. Feel sorry for yourself. Be pissed off. Do whatever you need to do emotion-wise. Yeah. Have your little reaction.
Okay.
And now, what are we going to do about it?
I'm like pretty happy with that.
I mean, I know I'm not very good at golf, but if I hit that, I'd be like high-fiving people. I'd be maybe fist bumping in the camera. Like, that was a great shot.
That actually was a great shot. And look at that. I was so calm. That's like not normally me at all.
Yeah, sorry, a good golf coach would have had the rake ready for you.
Now I'm excited. And I got to calm myself down.
Yeah.
Because like I have a big shot at birdie here.
That vagus nerve's got activity pulsing up and down.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna prepare for the shot back here. I gotta figure out my line first, and then I can do my breathing and stuff. That's a great stinking birdie.
I mean, it's all right to be excited.
That's a good stinking birdie.
Well done. So we're gonna head over next to hole number 2 because you've got some history with hole number 2.
Yes. So last week was actually the first time I've ever played this golf course, and just right off the bat, it does not set well up to my eye. Like immediately, I'm like, oh, this is kind of tight. Oh, I kind of don't like this. And so now I want to go like talk through that tee shot with you.
No, love it. Here we are. This is no longer like some nemesis hole that conquered you.
Yeah.
This is just a hole on the golf course. So we don't need to overreact to things. We don't need to overcorrect things. You need to focus on what you're trying to do, and you need to go execute.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Okay. I mean, I missed it a little bit off the face, but it's dead straight.
Heck yeah.
So that's good. And I focused on my point and just stayed there.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, practice routine. I'm going to get the extra breath. One practice swing behind the ball. Visualize that shot until I see it land.
Visualize that shot until I see it land is the difference I heard in that. I don't know where the ball's going.
It's good.
But in my mind, you committed to that visualization that time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to visualize in deep breath and then the next step and okay, let's go hit the ball. It was, see this thing land where I want it.
Yeah.
And you stood back here for, what, at least like 2.5 minutes. Is that what it felt like to you?
But like that one, when I hit it, because I was visualizing where I wanted it to land, I'm like, oh, dang it. But I think I have like a 5-foot putt. because it was a little bit off my line, but like still good.
There you go. So like, I'm not telling you can't have an emotional reaction to a shot.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can't turn that off. You can be pissed.
Yeah.
You can be happy. You can be sad. You can be whatever you want. But at some point before we hit the next ball, we got to move on.
Yeah, for sure.
You're trying to be the best possible version of yourself and truly reach your full potential.
Yeah.
And if you can do better, fine.
Yep.
But as we get up here, like at some point, we got to move on. At some point, it doesn't matter if you were happy with the last shot, mad about the last shot. Like at some point, it's all now about this shot going in this hole.
Exactly. Okay. So I mean, obviously, I want to make this. So I'm just going to commit to whatever it is. But if it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. But I would like to make it.
I've heard you say 4 things now about the outcome and the result.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's start over.
Okay.
Because from a course management standpoint, it would be nice to make this putt.
Yeah.
Fine, we could say that once.
Yeah.
Now, what do we need to do to make that happen?
I have to be calm.
Okay, and what's your line? Where are you going? What are you seeing?
Yeah, okay, I've got to do all that. Okay, definitely downhill, braking left to right. Let's see where I want it to go.
Now we're moving on to this shot.
Yeah, okay.
Now you're that dog that's about to execute what needs to be executed.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. I liked everything I did. Oh, rats.
Fine.
Okay, fine.
So let's put this in perspective.
Yeah.
If you had a 2-foot par putt on your nemesis hole from the other day where you went OB and then totally, you know, if we were to say from this tee box you would have a par putt, how would you feel about that?
Happy. Perspective. It
Perspective.
really is. It definitely is. Yep. Yeah, like, if you would have told me I would have had a 1-foot putt for par, I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
So coming into this hole, all you wanted to do was not collapse.
Yeah.
Up here on this green, all you wanted to do was make a birdie.
Yeah.
Then you were so devastated, well, the old Caleb would have been so devastated because you didn't make birdie, and it's like, these emotions can't run everything on the golf course.
No, they can't.
The emotions can come and go. You can feel whatever you feel. We don't have to suppress it. But at some point, we got to move on from it because they're not in control. You are, because you're that dog.
And I feel, too, when I know that I feel calm when my shoulders feel very low.
Yeah.
Like when I release everything, when they drop, I feel like this. I feel good right now.
I love it.
I don't feel good like this.
I love it. There you go.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that because I think what I gained from that is I rush too much over shots.
Yep.
And I think I focus on results too much. Those are the 2 things that I really got from it. What do you think? Yeah?
So remember when I told you that you could just ask me my thoughts, like those were my 2 thoughts?
Well, those are my 2 thoughts, so we're in sync.
You nailed it.
So
No,
that's what it was.
I think there's a fine balance between knowing what the result is that you're chasing after, and we're not saying we don't want to go after those results. We're not saying just be cool with mediocrity.
Yeah.
We're saying let's not overly focus on them to the point that it takes away from our performance. Let's focus on the things that we can control that matter right now so that we can achieve those results. So I thought today was great. It was good to be able to see you put your pre-shot routine into action for me, and to be able to see too when you were rushing it.
Yeah, and at the beginning obviously I was rushing it, but then I feel like we figured it out.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right,
that was great.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye guys.